Hey guys, welcome back. Today I want to talk about a really important question that keeps coming up but is really hard to explain nowadays or even get down to the bottom of it. Where is our food coming from? Our entire food system is completely global, and it feels like every day we know less and less about the food we eat. Labels are not altogether truthful, or this label actually has underlying meanings and you wouldn't know what that label meant unless you heavily researched exactly the right wording by the producer or the manufacturer. The point here is I think it's important to start this dialogue and to ask more questions about the food that you're putting into your body. This might just be one of the most important questions of our time. And I'm a person who asks a lot of questions. I tend to overlook the marketing taglines, the vague labels, because I want to know the independent farms or the family farms that are raising and producing the food that I'm putting into my body. That's the way to know that the person on the other end cares. So when it comes to knowing the way that your food is farmed and raised, we would presume that organic or naturally raised over mass-produced ways would be the best thing to put into your body. But the biggest problem with organic or natural is that it's expensive for most of us. So here in Manila, the most affordable way to shop for produce and meat is the Palengke, aka the farmer's market. Without knowing anything, if I were asked where the food in the Palengke is coming from, I would hopefully accurately guess that it was coming from local farms around Manila. There are over 7,000 islands in this country, the Philippines, so I would assume that the fish is being caught locally. The meat is probably raised, butchered, packed, and transported from local farms here into Metro Manila. So the reason why I bring all of this up is because I've been shopping for produce and meat at the Palengke since I've been in Manila, since I've been coming to and staying in Manila for however long I'm here. I typically shop at the Palengke because I like to shop local. It's a very lively place. It's pretty fun to go to. And in terms of cost budget, you can get a lot more at the Palengke than you would at a grocery store. And because I frequent the Palengke, I've gotten to know the vendors there. I frequent certain stalls, and it dawned on me that I've actually never asked them where the food is coming from. Well, today is that day. I've been going to the Palengke to buy meat and produce here as long as I've stayed in Manila, as long as I've keep coming to Manila. So I've gotten to know a few vendors there. Today I'm going to pick up ingredients for two of my favorite go-to Filipino meals that are really easy to cook. Sinigang. It's a classic and favorite Filipino dish. It's a sweet and sour soup, the main ingredients being fresh vegetables. You can also put seafood, beef, or pork in it. I like to cook it with salmon. The second dish is called mungo bean soup. This is my green, healthy Filipino comfort food. It's made of mung beans, which look like lentils, and a ton of green veggies. Can you tell I like the veggie soups here? They're two healthy dishes and can be made for anyone's dietary needs, whether you're keto, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or you don't subscribe to any of that. Either way, both of these meals are fresh, nutritious, and very delicious. I am heading to Guadalupe Market right now. I'm taking the local transportation here, the jeepney. So I'm just waiting on the corner right here. The jeepneys are coming by and just gotta wait for the right one. Okay. I just reached the Palengke, it's right behind me, and before I go in, I just want to say to you guys, say to the vlog, that I'm not going in to hard press anyone about where the food is coming from, and I'm coming here to get the ingredients that I need to get. I'm going to leave with them either way. I've been coming to this Palengke for, the last couple years, and actually I've just never asked where the food is coming from. So it's for my own curiosity to know where the food that I'm buying here, the produce and the meat, the fish, chicken, is coming from. First on the list is produce. So, kailangan kong talong, sibuyas, kangkong, malunggay, siguro okra.
2 or 3 pieces. 2 or 3.
Wag na to. Ito lang. Ano yan?
Kangkong.
Kangkong, sige.
Yes.
Isa lang yung ito. Isa, yeah.
Ganda niya.
Bili sa market saan? You drive here in the morning. Saan kagaling? Baguio. Hindi na sa merchants, pero local farms lang. I like that. Okay, I got my veggies, my produce. The next thing I gotta get is the fish. Local fish ba to? Bangus at tilapia. Anong recommendation? Anong pinakamasarap sa isda? Bangus? Anong pinaka-fresh? Tilapia? Let's go ask about the salmon now. Anong isda ito? Kingfish. The yellowfin tuna and the red snapper look like they are fresh. I'm just making a few observations here. This looks like a shiny eye, firm belly, slimy skin, the salmon, and the kingfish has already been cut up. It looks like it was frozen and then exported. Anong warehouse galing sa lahat ng isda? Hindi mo alam? Okay. Hindi na salmon sa dagat dito sa Pilipinas. Yung bangus, yung tilapia sa dagat, pero to hindi. I would like some salmon, but the only thing about salmon is it's a contentious fish to buy in terms of sustainability practices. Most of the salmon we see in restaurants and shops are farmed, which means that there is constant routine chemical use. There is a tremendous impact on the local environment with farm-raised fish. And the biggest problem is what they actually feed the salmon in the farms. Saan galing ang mga beef?
Batangas.
Batangas, okay. So most of the meat here, including the chicken, the beef, and the pork, are all delivered here from the provinces around the Philippines, mostly from Laguna, Bulacan, Batangas, Rizal, and some from Quezon City. Alam mo ba kung ang baka pinapakain damo?
May feeds din na pinapakain. Damo
Feeds.
at saka yung feed.
So feeds at damo. Pero hindi mo alam yung walang anong grass-fed beef dito.
Kasi namin, yung kwan lang yan, yung may-ari lang talaga papakain.
Wala na dito sa palengke grass-fed beef.
Wala po.
Oh, okay.
Here's what I learned today about the food at the Palengke. Meat and produce is entirely local. Cattle is fed a mix of grains and grass. Some fish is local, but even the local fish may be farmed. Salmon and kingfish are from Norway, and not certain if they are farmed, but I would presume they are. Routine pesticides are used to grow produce.
So after having all of these conversations with the vendors today, I realized that ruling out farm-raised fish and grain-fed beef isn't all that easy. What I did find most troubling that I learned today was that the produce at the Palengke is raised with routine synthetic pesticide use. Now, this debate with pesticides, whether it's harming people or not, it will go on forever, and there are all kinds of articles about it online, pesticide versus organic, that I encourage you to read up on your own. However, eating a diet rich in fruits and vegetables will outweigh the risks of pesticide exposure. Eating produce is always going to be better than skipping out on fruits and vegetables just because there's pesticides on them or just because they're not organic.
So on that note, here's a quick solution if you want to be cautious about your produce. Use baking soda when cleaning and washing fruits and veggies to remove pesticides. Place your produce in a bowl of water, add a teaspoon of baking soda, and soak for at least 30 minutes. I'm in favor of organic farms, so I went online and did a little research on organic farms in Batangas, Bulacan, Laguna, and other cities outside of Metro Manila. So I decided to take a trip to an organic farm in Batangas to find out how our produce is grown.
I am heading to Batangas right now. I'm going to visit an organic farm called Taal Manaran's Farmville. So I'm going to the source of where the food is coming from, and hopefully I'll be able to learn a little bit more about how they grow their food, how they raise their animals, and I'll get to know the local farmers a little bit better. So Lester,
Yes.
what exactly does an organic farm mean?
Okay, so basically an organic farm is a farm that practices no chemical practices. We do not use inorganic fertilizers and anything that's not native to earth, that's not sourced from the nature. So we actually have marigold because we use them as insect repellents, because in an organic farm we are not allowed to use any kind of pesticides or insecticides. And so that's what the marigold does. They repel insects.
So you put molasses on here and it attracts the fruit flies
Then it sticks in there.
so that they don't eat the vegetables.
Right here we have Japanese cucumber and we have chili pepper. Okay, so this is our vermi house and composting area where we make our own fertilizers out of organic matter like dried leaves, grass trimmings, as well as the rabbit poop, because out of all animals, rabbit manure is considered one of the best natural organic fertilizers.
So how do you feed your animals?
We feed them just everything that's available in nature, like fruits and vegetables that we grow here, as well as kitchen scraps. No artificial feeds. So that's the way we raise our animals here. We raise these animals for our own Restaurante de Farmacia. When the customer wants native organic chicken, since our chicken are free range, our farm boys would gather just to catch one. So that's why it takes a little time to prepare stuff like that, like the chicken tinola. It's literally farm to table.
Wow, farm to table right here. Do the farmers around here in Batangas have a community? Like, do you guys get together? Do you guys talk about the way that you raise and grow your food? Or is it more so like very individual?
Some farms, they do it on their own, but those farms that are accredited by the Department of Agriculture, they actually have like a community, like an organization where we meet and exchange ideas.
Are organic farms here becoming more and more popular?
Yes, because it is actually a booming industry right now.
Well, thank you so much for showing me around this beautiful organic farm. It was such a pleasure to come here and visit.
You should come back.
Yes. Now we get to enjoy the farm to table meal. We are having this vegetable soup, bulang lang. We have yellow adobo chicken, straight from the farm, like we said earlier. We have this blue rice that they use what's called the blue pea flour to give it that blue color and to give it a little bit of an herbal taste. We have sizzling bangus. Looks like a teriyaki sauce with some onions on top. And I am enjoying a kale juice here. What do you have, Mom?
Passion fruit.
And something passion fruit. Look at the color of passion fruit, kale juice. So even though Taal Manaran doesn't supply food to the palenques that I shop at, visiting Batangas to learn more about the local farms is bringing me closer to getting to know the farmers and some of the food raising practices here in the Philippines. Our relationship with food is extremely important to think about every single day. With our fast-paced, high-stress lives and a work culture that enables burnout quickly, it can leave us feeling that substandard food options are like the only way that we can save time and money so that we can continue working towards success. But what is success without your health first? And as a result, a lot of us are finding ourselves in a very careless and sometimes abusive relationship with our food. We're eating foods that are hurting our bodies, that are not good for us, yet we are going back to the same types of foods and still continuing to eat them. So knowing where my food is coming from and knowing how it's prepared is a question that I'm constantly asking myself. Is this food worthy of my body absorbing everything into it. My skin, my organs, my hair. I'm not saying that you need to start reading every single ingredient and understanding what all these crazy scientific ingredient names are, or even completely change the way that you eat. I mean, I'm still gonna be going to the Palengke to shop for food. But in all these complexities of food labels and the arguments about what human species should or should not be eating, all these confusing fad diets, all of these studies being overturned about what we thought we knew growing up is now untrue. Try and keep things simple. Simplicity is key. Is this food worthy of putting it into my body? And do I know enough about where this food is coming from? When you start to ask yourself these questions, you might feel a mindset shift in that you can improve the relationship you have with food. And like maybe you're thinking, oh, it doesn't matter what I eat. Oh, I'm just in a rush and I'm just gonna grab whatever's cheap and available and quick. Ask yourself these questions and then just try to invest a little bit of time, a little bit of advanced planning to choose something to eat that you feel great about. If you're in the Philippines, where do you guys like to shop for your food? Do you have a relationship with the vendors that you buy your food from? How often do you think about the food that you're eating? Thank you again for joining another vlog, and I will see you guys next time. Ingat!